Welcome back to Salem, where secrets boil just beneath the surface and no one ever stays safe for long. In the next 2 weeks on Days of Our Lives, from March 31st to April 11th, lies will be exposed, bullets will fly, and relationships will be pushed to the edge. From Jada's drunken confession to EJ DiMera bleeding out on the DiMera mansion floor, to Kristen facing heat from the cops, it's clear that no one is walking away from this chapter untouched. Let's break down everything you can expect in the days ahead, and what these twists might really mean. We open with a crumbling emotional landscape for Jada, who finally comes clean to Rafe about something that's been eating at her. She slept with Shawn. But instead of empathy or understanding, Rafe reacts coldly, distant, sharp, and clearly blindsided. There's no comfort, no space for healing, just disappointment. For Jada, the rejection cuts deeper than expected. She turns to small bar, a glass in her hand and heartbreak in her eyes. Drink after drink, her composure slips, and by the time the night deepens, she's visibly drunk and emotionally unraveling. Enter Shawn. He doesn't come to lecture, he comes to help. He sees her pain and quietly steps into the role Rafe refused to play. He becomes her stability in the chaos, her support when she's falling apart. Their history may have started with a complicated, ill-timed decision, but tonight? It feels different. There's care, there's understanding, and there's chemistry neither of them can deny. Meanwhile, JJ confronts Shawn directly. No sugarcoating, just the question. Do you have feelings for her? Shawn doesn't deny it. Not anymore. He might not have planned for this to happen, but now that it has, he seems ready to step into whatever's next. So, is this the start of a new romance rising from the wreckage? Or the beginning of a brand new scandal that will rock Salem to its core? Elsewhere, Belle is trying to take control in her own way. She hatches a bold, and risky, strategy: use her connection with EJ DiMera to get him talking. She leans into flirtation, charm, and subtle psychological pressure, hoping he'll slip up and reveal the truth. But EJ doesn't play along. He's cool, calculated, and completely unfazed. He refuses to take the bait, leaving Belle frustrated and empty-handed. The failure stings, and when she finally walks away from the DiMera mansion, she's seething. Her plan didn't just collapse, it exposed just how little power she has over EJ now. Later, she takes out her frustration on Brady Black, the only person who understands the pressure she's under. The two share a tense but meaningful exchange, not just about EJ, but about something even more terrifying. John is still missing, and now that Orpheus has resurfaced, and worse, cornered Marlena, the threat level has gone from simmering to boiling. Though Marlena makes it out of her confrontation alive, the encounter leaves her deeply shaken. She senses something dark on the horizon. John isn't just missing, he could be in serious danger. And every second that ticks by without news pushes her further into dread. Meanwhile, Steve Johnson's own investigation is hitting walls. The deeper he digs, the more he realizes that Orpheus isn't just back to haunt them, he's here with a plan. And that plan may already be in motion. As the race to locate John Black intensifies, Andrew Donovan finds himself in a high-stakes situation that quickly spirals out of control. Acting on a lead, Andrew dives headfirst into a dangerous location believed to hold answers, maybe even John himself. But he walks straight into a trap. Outnumbered and outmaneuvered, he realizes he's in over his head. Just when it looks like things are about to take a turn for the worst, Paul bursts in, delivering a dramatic and well-timed rescue. The moment is tense, emotional, and action-packed, reminding us that Orpheus's reach is wider than anyone imagined. Though Andrew makes it out safe, the message is clear: they're being watched. And if they misstep again, they may not be so lucky. Orpheus isn't just toying with them. He's orchestrating something bigger. Meanwhile, inside the hallowed halls of the DiMera mansion, things take a bloody turn. The tension that's been simmering for weeks finally erupts when EJ DiMera is found sprawled on the floor, shot and bleeding out. The one to discover him? Chad DiMera, who stumbles upon the horrific scene and is immediately thrown into panic. He calls for help, and EJ is rushed to the hospital. But the damage is done. EJ is unconscious, barely clinging to life, and the identity of the shooter remains a complete mystery. As doctors work to stabilize him, Chad leans on Cat Green for support. The shock, the fear, and the weight of not knowing whether his brother will survive hangs over him like a storm cloud. Kayla provides updates, but they're vague and grim. There's a real chance EJ may fall into a coma, leaving the entire town of Salem on edge and opening the door to a full-blown investigation. And with EJ unable to speak for himself, the question becomes, who wanted him dead? The list of suspects is long, and getting longer. The investigation kicks into high gear as Chanel DiMera becomes one of the last people seen confronting EJ before he was shot. Tensions between them had already reached a boiling point, and now Chanel's angry exchange with EJ has police, and viewers, wondering, was her rage enough to push her over the edge? Meanwhile, Kristen is hauled in for questioning. Salem PD doesn't waste time. But Kristen, cool and defiant, denies everything. She reminds them, and JJ, who's growing suspicious, that EJ has no shortage of enemies. Kristen's not wrong. The suspect list expands by the hour. Kate, Roman, Ava, all have motive. Ava, in particular, raises alarms when she's caught dumping a gun into a public trash can. It looks bad. Really bad. But is it too obvious? Could Ava be planting evidence to throw investigators off the real trail? Even Leo and Javi begin speculating behind closed doors. Their theory? Maybe it's not just about old rivalries, maybe this shooting is part of something much deeper. Could Rafe Hernandez have acted out of buried resentment? Could Gabby have struck in secret? Salem is buzzing with questions, but answers remain elusive. As EJ lies unconscious, the town's anxiety escalates. Chad, sitting vigil by his brother's bedside, is desperate for a sign, any sign, that EJ will pull through. But the longer the silence, the more ominous it feels. With EJ out of commission, chaos creeps in. Opportunists circle. Secrets begin to surface. And still, no one knows who pulled the trigger. In the midst of this, Rafe takes a hard look at himself. His anger toward Jada, once fiery and self-righteous, begins to cool. Maybe he overreacted. Maybe he pushed her too far. But that realization may be coming too late. Because while Rafe sits with regret, Jada is slowly rebuilding, and Shawn Brady is right there beside her. Their connection, once blurred by guilt, is beginning to feel real. Steady. Safe. What started as a one-time mistake is growing into something meaningful. And as that bond strengthens, Rafe may be forced to watch the woman he still cares about move on. The tension is rising. The stakes are real. And Salem is standing on the edge of another storm. Kristen isn't just dodging questions, she's dodging suspicion from all sides. Though she firmly insists she had nothing to do with EJ's shooting, no one seems entirely convinced. Her criminal past continues to haunt her. And this time, the court of public opinion may be harder to sway than any jury. Kayla, JJ, and Chanel all voice doubts about Kristen's motives. And as the interrogation intensifies, Kristen's confidence starts to fray. She's in full damage control mode, trying to stay ahead of the narrative before it swallows her whole. She knows she's being watched. She knows her every word is being dissected. If she's truly innocent, she's going to need more than denials. She's going to need hard proof. Because in Salem, perception is powerful. And Kristen? She's running out of people who are willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. Meanwhile, far from the high-stakes drama dominating the rest of Salem, Holly Jonas quietly takes it upon herself to play Cupid. Still nursing the wounds of her own breakup with Tate Black, she redirects her heartache into a mission, not to heal herself, but to mend a love story she believes still has a chance. Doug Williams III and Julie Williams. Holly's determined. She's seen the tension, the missteps, and the emotional walls that have gone up between Doug and Julie. But where others see a lost cause, Holly sees a second chance. She believes Julie is still holding on to hurt that's blocking her from moving forward, and Holly is convinced that with the right push, Julie might just open the door again. She meets with Doug in private, speaking candidly. She tells him she understands heartbreak, that her own with Tate feels final. She's not just giving up on love, she's learning from it. And maybe, just maybe, Doug can do the same. Her words are heartfelt, honest, and a little raw. It's not just matchmaking, it's emotional transference, using someone else's love story to process her own. As Holly invests herself in reigniting the spark between Doug and Julie, she finds herself confronting her own feelings in unexpected ways. Seeing Doug's vulnerability, hearing his regrets, watching him struggle with the same emotions she's battling, it all hits closer to home than she anticipated. And while her plan might be about helping someone else, Holly isn't immune to the effects. Because the more she tries to bring Doug and Julie back together, the more she wonders what she really wants for herself. Could her own chapter with Tate be truly over? Or is this quest to fix another couple's love story just a distraction from feelings she hasn't fully faced? One thing's certain, in Salem, even the smallest acts of kindness have a way of rippling outward. And when it comes to love, no one, not even Holly, can predict where the heart will go next. So where does Salem go from here? Will EJ survive long enough to name the person who pulled the trigger? His condition remains critical, and if he falls into a coma, the truth may be locked away with him, at least for now. Will Jada and Shawn take the leap into something real? Their connection has grown stronger in the chaos, and what began as a misstep might be turning into a love neither of them expected. Can Chad hold it together, or will his grief consume him? With EJ's life hanging in the balance, Chad is already beginning to crack. The emotional toll, the weight of responsibility, and the fear of another loss could push him to a breaking point. Is Kristen truly innocent, or just 2 steps ahead of everyone else? She's dodging questions, suspicions, and her own past, but the pressure is closing in. If she's guilty, the truth won't stay buried for long. And beyond the headline drama, what about the quiet hearts unraveling in the background? Will Rafe make peace with losing Jada, just as she's starting to feel something real with Shawn? Will Holly's attempt to help Doug and Julie actually mend a bond, or ignite new ones she didn't expect? Over the next 2 weeks, Days of Our Lives is setting the stage for emotional implosions, unexpected alliances, and secrets that could tear families apart. Everyone has something to hide. Everyone has something to lose. So keep your eyes on Salem. Because just when you think the dust is settling, another storm hits. Don't blink. Don't look away. And whatever you do, don't miss what's coming next on Days of Our Lives.